Good morning, Tender Care. This is Vince. I'm in Newcastle, Delaware. I am at 211 Delaware Street, the Newcastle Courthouse. It used to be the Capitol building. The capital of Delaware in 1776 was Newcastle. It served as the colonial and first state capital. However, to protect government operations from British threats, the state moved its seat of government to Dover in 1777, which has remained the capital ever since. The building where Delaware declared its independence in 1776 is still standing, known as the Newcastle Courthouse, and that is what you're looking at. Delaware's Legislative Assembly voted to separate from both Great Britain and Pennsylvania at this location on June 15, 1776. I'm trying to beat the rain. It's about 8:19, but it's already drizzling on me, and on top of that, my GPS isn't working. So this could be an interesting day. Wishing everyone well. You can see it's beautiful colonial architecture here as I give you a panoramic view. So hopefully I get this GPS thing worked out and I'm on my way. Wishing everyone a great day. Greetings everyone, this is Vince. I'm in Annapolis, Maryland. Capital of Maryland in 1776 was Annapolis. It has served as the center of Maryland's government since 1695. The original Maryland State House in Annapolis, which was begun in 1772 and saw the end of the Revolutionary War, is still standing. It is the oldest U.S. state capitol in continuous legislative use and the only one that ever served as the nation's capital. The 18th century structure remains intact and in use, though a few key details highlight its history and modern additions. Construction began in 1772 and the building was first used in 1779. It was in this original building that George Washington resigned his commission in 1783 and where the Treaty of Paris was ratified in 1784. The iconic wooden dome atop the building was built between 1785 and 1797 and famously contains no metal nails, held together entirely by wooden pegs and iron straps. A beautiful state capitol building, my home state. Wonderful staircase. Sorry about the noise, they're doing some landscaping. You can see we have a whole colonial looking section here. Beautiful brick road work, and this little road that you see goes all around to the back. Beautiful building. No rain on me so far, except a little bit when I left Newcastle. GPS is still out. I don't know what's going on with that. My next stop is Williamsburg, Virginia. Have a good day. Greetings everyone, this is Vince. I'm in colonial Williamsburg at the original Virginia State House. As you can see, it is magnificent. Capital of Virginia in 1776 was Williamsburg. It served as the political and cultural center of the colony and later the independent Commonwealth of Virginia until the seat of government was relocated to Richmond in 1780. The original State House is no longer standing. The original building that hosted the convention, declaring independence and adopting the Virginia Constitution in 1776 was largely abandoned when the capital moved to Richmond in 1780. The remaining structure burned down completely in 1832. What you see today in colonial Williamsburg Historic Area is a highly accurate reconstruction built in the 1930s on the original foundation. As you can see, this building is magnificent. Park-like setting. You see colonial homes all around here. I'm right in the heart of colonial Williamsburg. It is fantastic. Hope everyone had a good day. And I'm headed to a hotel to beat the incoming rainstorm. Greetings everyone. I am in Williamsburg, Virginia, just outside of colonial Williamsburg. I had an interesting day. When I loaded up the bike in Newcastle, Delaware, it was hot and muggy and I was breaking out into a sweat. By the time I left the hotel, it was drizzling and chilly. I difficulty finding the old courthouse because my GPS wasn't working, but fortunately I had printed out directions as I've done for every location and I managed to get there. I hope you found it as interesting as I did, the colonial brickwork and everything that goes into that. That was a really neat building. Made my way to Annapolis. Again, the GPS wasn't working, but that wasn't difficult. Straight down DuPont Highway. Most of you may be familiar with it if you go to Ocean City or Rehoboth. And then on to 301, which took me right onto Route 50 and Road Boulevard, and I was at the Capitol. The Annapolis Capitol building is fantastic. There's a circular road around it. I did not do that because of time, but it is a fascinating building. On the way to colonial Williamsburg, and of course south on 95, starting at 11:45, I was stopped north of Quantico. And this went on for 20 minutes. It was not a fun time, and it had to do with a lane closure. They closed the right lane, and a street sweeper was cleaning the shoulder. I will give them the benefit of the doubt that they had something dramatic to clean up. Very concerned about the weather. I had checked the forecast for all three locations today. I knew I had to get to Williamsburg by about 2:30 to avoid the forecasted storm. I didn't make it by 2:30. Well, I kind of made it by 2:30, but the storm had already passed, so I got lucky with that. I went to the visitor center and explained what I wanted to do, because internet research had indicated that I would have to park and walk about a mile to the State House. I explained what I was doing to them. I said, can I ride there? They said, not really, but go ahead. And they gave me a location to put in my GPS, and lo and behold, within a few minutes, I was there. And what a beautiful building that is. Such rich history, even though that is a replica, but it was built in the 1930s and on the foundation. So it was a good day. I hope everybody had a good day. Tomorrow I'm on to New Bern, North Carolina, and I'm very much looking forward to that because of the Tyron Palace. Wishing everyone well.